For our second speech, Hodge is working on the project How to Say It. He's got a 7-minute speech entitled Disconnected Connectivity. I've got a great place for you to put that phone. Hodge.
An old roommate of mine calls me one night and says, "Hey, a bunch of us are about to go to old Chicago after work. Come hang out with us." Okay, well, I've met some of the people we work with, and I like them well enough, and I enjoy hanging out, so I went. And we had a pretty nice evening. There was a guy sitting across from me that I had not met, and I thought he seemed like an okay guy, until at one point, I look over, he has his phone out, and he's doing this. You know those moments when you want to stifle your own curiosity because you're going to regret asking, but you go ahead and you do it anyway? Dude, what are you doing? I'm trying to figure out what this song is. I have an app on my phone that does it. Nope, can't figure it out. I'm on the other side of the table waiting. And waiting. And I don't want to say I'm getting mad because you have to admit you lose control when you do that. I don't want to do that. But I was getting a little frustrated. I leaned over and I said, "It's Crosstown Traffic by Jimi Hendrix." First of all, why don't you know that? But more importantly, did it not occur to you to look around and say, "Hey, does anybody know this song? It's track 7 on Experience Hendrix." Hello, Toastmasters, honored guests. Human beings are social creatures, and we live in a time when we are more connected than we have ever been thanks to social media and various forms of technology. Yet for some reason, we are becoming more isolated. And this is not an anti-technology or social media speech. Both are great in the proper context, which is to supplement our social interactions, not to replace them. USA Today called 2010 the year we stopped talking to each other. We didn't stop communicating, we just stopped speaking. Nielsen says Americans send 2.5 billion text messages per day. But we still don't talk to each other. And it's leading to social isolation, which is a problem. It's been linked to various physical and mental ailments, sleep disorders, high blood pressure, increased risk of suicide and depression. John T. Cacioppo said, "We survive and prosper, and our genes survive and prosper only because we are connected to each other." And he says that this theory is proven because the inverse of social connectedness exists, which is loneliness. And that seems to make sense because our very survival has depended on social connection. In the early days of mankind, it led to protection from animals, other humans, division of labor in regards to finding food, building shelter, and raising children. And loneliness can even creep up in social situations. College freshmen living on campus are some of the most susceptible to loneliness because they're away from their family and friends for the first time. And that may explain why you see so many self-portraits of people in their bathroom mirror. 850 friends on Facebook, you can't get one to take your picture. And maybe if they weren't so isolated, somebody would have been there to tell them that the duck face and the fake gang sign is not cute. Patrick Moynihan's a missionary in Haiti. And there was a time when people were flying in, they would fly over Haiti, and they would ask questions like, "Why are so many buildings unfinished? And how do these people live like this?" Now his most common question is my cell phone going to work here? He related a really amusing story with some medical professionals that were coming to do relief work. He recommended that they turn their cell phones off while they're doing their relief work. He compared their reaction to telling a toddler going on his first sleepover to leave a stuffed bear at home. Like I said, these technology and social media, these things are great. But there is no substitute for face-to-face interaction. 43 years ago, we figured out how to get to the moon and back, and somehow man has lost the ability to cross the room and shake someone's hand and say hello. There was a 1985 study where they asked people, over the last 6 months, how many people have you been able to confide in and share your life with? The average answer was 3. A similar study was done in 2004. The average dropped to 2. But more significantly, the most common answer dropped from 3 to 0. 25% said they had no one to confide in over the last 6 months. In 1985, it was 7%. So statistically, 1 in 4 out of every person you meet has no one to unload on, to vent to share their life with, really connect with. That's why I encourage you to put the phone down and look around you, interact with someone. Talk to a stranger. You may be the only face-to-face connection that person makes all day. Even your friends and family. Social isolation is not always something that's quite evident. The duck face may be annoying, but maybe a cry for help. Yahoo updates the status 5 times a day, maybe reaching out for someone to care. And there's always the people who stay silent, who have given up hope that their existence is of consequence to anyone else. But these people have something to offer, and you have something to gain. You don't know what these people can teach you, or what insight they can share. Thomas Carlyle said, "Every man is my superior, and that I may learn from him." So connect with someone. You may be able to save their life. Maybe, just maybe, because of you. Someone won't have to pull out their stupid phone to recognize Jimi Hendrix.